All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let me minimize this side of the screen. As always, as we go through the process, feel free to type your questions in the chat box. What I'll make sure that I do, and Jim does at the end, is we'll check the chat at the end, and then we'll go ahead and answer any kind of questions that are going on at that time. But I want to thank everybody for their flexibility, just working with us. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We think that we've figured something out. It's a new way to try to deliver these meetings. We're not. It seems like WebEx might be back temporarily or might be back full time. We're not entirely certain. But we figured we'd go ahead and carry on with this just in case we need in the future to rely on a different type of technology. So thank you for working with it. Thank you for working with us. And we'll go ahead and get started with today's faculty meeting. So, oops, here we go. So it is, let's see, here we go. First, as always, I want to talk about some positive stories to share. We have these 5 individuals are our Access Awards winners. Our Student of the Year is Virginia Webb. Our Administrator of the Year is Jennifer Cardwell. Our Access Teacher of the Year is Linda Shields. Our Access Facilitator of the Year is Nancy Lambreth. And our Counselor of the Year is Amy Bellall. And so I just want to thank them for all the hard work, the outstanding contributions that they've made. Virginia has taken a number of courses with us over the years. She's a senior and is graduating. And so she had a very compelling story about how she's been able to use Access to really help her through high school. Jennifer Cardwell is an administrator at Hewitt Trustville, and she really does a wonderful job, not just of promoting Access, but when she brings her students on board, especially over the summer, she requires parents to come to a parent orientation. And we go up there, Sam typically goes and presents. And so she does a great job of not only encouraging students to use Access, but bringing parents along as they do it. And so as you know, when a parent's involved, students are more likely to be successful. So she does a tremendous job. Linda Shields has been teaching with us for a lot of years. I want to thank Linda for all the work that she does in teaching English. And she always is helpful in contacting us at the support center, and me, particularly when I first came on board, and giving me some ideas on how how she's used Access, and some just tips on what to do to make Access more successful. Nancy she's at Sylacauga High School. She's been the facilitator for us for a long time. It was really evident last year when Nancy had to, she wasn't able to be facilitator for a short period of time. And it was clear because the students really struggled in her absence. When she came back, she really brought them on board. And then Amy does a wonderful job as a counselor, and not only just with the enrollments and getting students on board, but really supporting them. So we want to thank them. We will formally recognize them and their accomplishments at our Access Teacher Day, May 31st. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Jim, any positive stories that you might have?
Oh, hey, you know what? Why does that catch me by surprise every time, Kevin? You know, I've got a myriad of positive stories. I cannot think of any when you ask me the question, though, except that positive stories is that we're getting near the end of the school year, and things are looking good. So
Things are looking good.
Things are looking great. So
yeah, this is actually this has been I feel like I was talking to Sam yesterday. I said it feels like a smooth end of the year. She really kind of stared at me, encouraging me not to jinx anything. But I think it's our teachers have really have done a tremendous job. So I want to thank all of them for a good end of the year so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about finalizing grades, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Jim has some updates, and so Jim, I'll pull over for you some information for you to share. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that you've checked the closing date for your classes. Now, sent out an email yesterday where Jim's actually going through and updating those closing dates. And he'll have that probably, if you check through iLive by the end of the week, those will definitely be updated if they are updated. We have some schools that are ending, let me see, starting May 22nd. So we have a range from May 22nd all the way actually to May 31st. We have one school ending then. So Jim will adjust end dates when appropriate. But please, I would think most of y'all, if you have seniors, most of those senior grades, if they haven't been submitted, we're getting pretty close to that timeline. We've received a few emails from y'all asking us to help you get those end dates, and so we're getting those together for you for seniors when they need grades, I mean. But if you haven't already checked with your facilitators about when your non-seniors, when they need those grades, please make sure you do that. You want to give yourself plenty of time to finalize the work and get all the information graded and all the assignments graded so that those schools have those grades. It is really imperative that if you have not put placeholder zeros in, now is the time to make sure that they're all in there. I would think most of y'all are in your final module. We're really close to the time when all of the work should be submitted. So most of your placeholder zeros should be submitted and documented, but if you haven't, please take the chance after today's faculty meeting to go ahead and do that. Once your grades are finished, once your class is finished, please go ahead and confirm your grades after your class closes. And after you finish grading, you'll confirm grades. Again, please check the email that I sent yesterday for more detailed information on how to do that. But after you've confirmed those grades, you need to print them and send them to us. And the email that I sent yesterday has the address to where you need to send those final grades. Jim, did you want to share some additional information?
Well, yeah, certainly I can tell. I think to sort of go over again quickly what you said about the students completing. Just like always, we have situations where either seniors or other students complete early. Now, you know that if they complete before your course section end date, that you'll need to email June Cummings and myself. We are both able to manually complete. What we would like to have in that email is, of course, you to list the students that have completed. And by completed, we mean that everything has been graded. Their final grades are showing in D2L, and those match the grades that are now showing in Information Live. So if you don't mind, certainly remember that it takes the overnight integration process. If you've just updated the grades in D2L and they haven't had a chance to go over yet, then wait to send us the email the next day. Then, of course, we can put it on our list of students to manually complete, and we'll be glad to do that, but we need to receive that by email. Going back to what Kevin was saying about adjusting the end dates, what I'm looking at doing right now, after looking, unless you have right now, I can tell you this, unless you have students that are enrolled from Birmingham City, Bessemer City, Fairfield, or Midfield, then chances are your end date is probably going to change to Friday, May the 24th. Okay, so unless you have students enrolled in one of those four, either Birmingham City, and I think there may be 8 schools in that one, Bessemer City students, Fairfield City, or Midfield City students, then you're probably going to get a May 24th. And I'm going to have those ready. If I don't get them by today or by tomorrow, then I'm probably going to come in Saturday, Kevin. I'm going to get them done because I want them done because I got some other things to do. So I want them done by Monday. So just check your course section in Information Live anytime beginning next Monday, just to reaffirm what that new end date is, if you have one. And then, of course, if you have students that have completed, email June Cummings and myself, and we'll look to complete those.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that for that additional information. WIPs. So you're going to please continue to read your emails for WIP notifications. Again, those are going to come from the State Department of Education. You can own, I mean, sorry, kind of mix things. WIPs, those are going to come from the State Department. It doesn't, they should start coming there. I guess they're open next week. Is that right, Jim? When they can start requesting WIPs?
Let's see. It will be on now. It will be on the 16th. So,
Okay, so
it will be May 16th is the first day that WIPs can be submitted. And getting back to what Kevin was saying earlier, this is the reason why pacing zeros are very important, because one of the aspects of a WIP is that they use the term average numeric grade to determine whether a student can be approved for a WIP. So you need to have grade item, all the grade items with pacing zeros, at least in and around that May 16th time. Okay. But I do want to caution you, if you'll give me just another moment, Kevin, do want to caution you one thing. Please do not put a 0 in for a current term exam. Okay. Because if you put a 0 in for a current term exam before the course section is up, what that does is it keeps the school administrator or counselor from being able to enter an exemption. Okay, so that because you put the 0 in for the term exam, they will not be allowed to enter an exemption. So, and that causes problems. So please do not put zeros in for term exams until the course section is closed. That's the appropriate time now to enter that. But all other grade items, we need those pacing zeros in by May 16th. Okay.
And then please know, thank you, Jim. That's important. Please know that all WIPs, remember, in order for a student to be granted a WIP, he or she has to have completed 30% of the course, and that student has to have at least a 40 average. With that being said, all WIPs will close on July 5th. So that will be the last day when any students will be able to work in the class. And again, once they close, you'll be asked to grade everything, confirm the grades, and then resend us and those grades where you've signed them and send them. And so please make sure you do that. We recognize that many of you might travel over the summer. And so if you receive a WIP notification and you're going to be away and you're not available, contact us. Please don't just leave it fallow. Let us know. We'll be checking logins over the summer, making sure that that content is being worked on and evaluated. So if it's okay if you're away, we prefer that all we ask is that you let us know, and we'll work around that. So please let us know and keep us up to date on anything there. Summer school. We will have our online summer school meetings. They're mandatory. Tuesday, May 14th at 4 and Thursday, May 16th at 4 p.m. Both of them are 4 p.m. I didn't put that there. I should have put p.m. and not a.m. But that's when we will meet. They are mandatory. We apologize again for the sudden change in schedule. It wasn't until we went to set up the WebEx meetings that we realized that WebEx was not available to us. So we will send that out. We're going to convene tomorrow about how best to present those meetings. We're testing this technology, and we'll send that link to you tomorrow. We recognize that you might not be able to attend those meetings. If you're unable to, please contact us. We'll make contingency plans for you. But please keep an eye out for that, and we'll go through and talk about all the things to expect for summer school, and then make sure that you're fully on board if you want to teach for us. We're looking forward to have a good summer school enrollment. We anticipate probably about the same as last year, which was a good number of students. So please, we hope that you're interested and that you'll teach for us over the summer school. So make sure you keep an eye out for that email. Let me jump down here. There was something I didn't, I think I must have erased this. and I apologize. Another thing to keep an eye out for as we finalize our grades is, and I apologize. One of the things to keep an eye out for is going to be the exam exemption forms. And I didn't talk about this. I must have accidentally deleted the slide, but exam exemption forms, those are going to come to you directly from the State Department of Alabama State Department of Education. So do not exempt a student if you do not receive an email from the Alabama Department of Education. As Jim said, do not put a 0 in for the exam until the class is closed. So wait until the end of wait until the course closes before you put a 0 in if the student does not take the exam. If a counselor emails you and asks or lets you know that a certain number of students have been exempt, please email them back and let them know that they need to contact the Alabama Department of Education and submit the form. And all counselors received an email last week or the week before about those forms and exactly what to do. The process is a lot more simple now. It's more streamlined. They actually complete WIP requests and exam exemption requests all on the same form. And then once that information is compiled, it'll be sent to you. So please wait until you hear from them. However, if the course close date passes and you have not received an email from the Alabama Department of Education and a student did not take the exam, you put a 0 in for the exam. Similarly, if the student takes the exam, they are not able to be exempt from the exam. So sometimes what happens and what's been happening in the past is a student will take the exam, not like the grade that he or she received on the exam, and then the school will submit an exam exemption request. And so we won't do that. Once the student takes the exam, they can no longer be exempt from it. Is that correct, Jim?
That is correct. Okay. Most definitely.
All right. So if you have any questions about that, make sure you contact us. Access Teacher Day is May 31st. And it's here on the University of Alabama's campus. We're going to have a lot of sections focusing on student engagement. In fact, that's the theme of the day, and it's going to be our theme for the next school year. We're going to really talk about ways to engage our students, build on the momentum that we've developed this year through digital presence and digital instruction, really honing in on what does it mean to engage students in our classrooms when they're being delivered in this format. So please attend. Like I said, we have 196 teachers registered. There are a few people who have registered but haven't identified which sessions that they want to attend. I think so right now, I believe everybody has received their first choice. I think we were able to make that happen, which is really exciting. But if you have not registered, we still have a few slots left. Please contact us and register. But then also, if you did not identify which sessions you want to attend when you're at the day of the Access Teacher Day, then please go ahead and communicate that with us. And you can probably communicate that with Florence Williams. I think she's gathering all that information and has it there. Something else that you want to make sure that you realize is, as you know, you will receive Access PD credit for the 2019-2020 academic year with 196 teachers attending. That's going to be most of you. So, which is a great thing because I believe it's a lot more enriching to attend Access Teacher Day to get your professional development credits, but then it's all done. And so you'll be completed for the upcoming year. So we're really excited, and it's going to be a great day. We'll have lunch for you, and we'll have some giveaways, and then we'll make sure that and we'll also recognize the annual award winners. You will receive the UA Support Center database. We're going to send an email to you sometime between now and the start of the fall semester, asking you to verify your demographic information. We're trying to clear out all old information, and so it'll allow us to sort of be more efficient in the way we communicate with you. But we also believe going through this process, we're hoping that it'll allow us to start to, at some point in the future, give you some access, some resources through the university, maybe some software programs and some things to help you with your teaching. So please keep an eye out for that. It'll be sent to all of your email addresses the D2L email addresses, and then any of the other email addresses that we have on file. We'll send it out to all of them, and you'll see a link, and there'll be directions in there in that email on how you can go ahead and update your demographic information. We really appreciate it there. Final reminder for our new teachers, all of your professional development updates, your professional developments, those are due by the end of May. You have 6. All of our returning teachers, you should have already completed that. So please pay attention to Chalkable. If you're not sure if you're a new teacher, where you stand, please contact us. Time is running short, but they will cut that off. I believe June 1st, you will not have access to it. So that's really all that we have. Let me put, one of the things that we want to do is I'm going to go through the emails. Not the emails here. I want to see if there are any questions. And if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box here. Not have to read much, it'll be okay. So I have, let me see. Sorry, I'm just going through to see. What if exempt but want to take the exam to see if it helps the grade? So Monique asked, what if the student is exempt but wants to take the exam to see if it helps the grade? Then Monique, once they take the exam, they are not going to be exempt. So they don't get to just sort of dip their toes in the water and see how it works out for them. They actually need to make the determination. Isn't that correct, Jim?
That is so correct. There's flip the coin. If you want to take it, you'll have to take it. So that's it.
Somebody asked, Lori Summerfield asked, how do you identify what you want to attend at Access Teacher Day? Lori, I would contact Florence Williams to make sure. She'll send you the link to that information on how to identify which sessions you want to take. Judith Pierce asks, what about seniors finishing early? Do we still need to let Jim know that they are finished? Jim, what do they do?
That would be any early completers that you ever have, regardless of what the reason is, if they needed to be completed. If they are finished, then yes, they are ready to be completed. Since teachers don't have the permissions in Information Live to manually complete, simply just email the list of students or identify the student in an email to June Cummings and myself and just tell us that they are complete. Again, wait to send that email until the final grade that is showing in D2L also matches the final grade that is showing in Information Live. Send the email to June and myself, and from that point on, we will take it and get those students manually completed. Now, I will say this: when it comes down to the very end of the term, for instance, if somebody wants a grade manually completed, and your course section, we reset it to close, let's say on Friday, May the 24th, and they want it manually completed on May the 23rd, probably not going to happen. Why? Because I may be sitting here for 24 hours trying to manually complete people one day early. Probably won't get around to doing it that day. But so within reason, certainly if you have anybody that's completed now, let's go ahead and get them all wrapped up.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for all the questions. I just posted in the YouTube chat window a link to a form, a Google form. You should be able to click on that, complete the form. Let me see if I can share this. And so this is going to be a little freaky because I'm sharing the YouTube screen. So that could be a little freaky, but you can.
I will not watch that, Kevin, because it's 20-second delay. I'll get so confused.
Yeah, everybody will get confused, but you can see that there's a link right here. If you click on that link, it should open a form for you to click on. So go ahead and do that, and it'll take you to that. Otherwise, I think that is all that we have. Jim, do you have anything else? Do you have anything else to add?
I think that we've pretty much got it covered. Of course, we're here for questions. If anything comes up that we didn't get discussed or covered today, and that wasn't in Kevin's email that he sent out earlier about term or end of term and closing and so forth. We have had a very. I want to echo what Kevin said, though. We've had a great year this year, and we owe so much of that to our teachers that have been helping and encouraging and supporting these students along the way. We know that there sometimes are great challenges with that, but we certainly appreciate all of your efforts in doing so.
All right. Thank y'all very much, Jim. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And
absolutely.
That's going to be the end of it. And we'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Yes. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.